My stepsister framed me for causing her allergic reaction, so my three brothers locked me in a cramped, airless cellar and chained the door shut. I weakly pounded on the cellar door, begging my brothers to let me out. James, my oldest brother and a business tycoon, coldly scolded me before leaving. It's bad enough that you usually bully Lily, but deliberately feeding her seafood when you know she's allergic? Were you trying to kill her? Stay in there and think about what you've done. William, my second brother and a rising music star, and Henry, my third brother and a genius painter, both sneered. Someone as vicious as you is still making excuses and playing the victim? You can just stay in there and suffer the consequences. With that, they carried my trembling stepsister Lily in their arms and rushed her to the hospital. As the oxygen slowly ran out, each breath became more labored until I finally died in that cellar. 3 days later, when my brothers returned home from the hospital with Lily, they finally remembered me. But by then, I had already suffocated to death in that cramped cellar. I died from lack of oxygen in that cellar. When I regained consciousness, I found my spirit hovering next to my three brothers. They had just returned to their mansion. James and William were gently helping Lily, speaking to her kindly. Thank goodness we got you to the hospital in time. You're recovering so quickly. Henry fussed over her with obvious concern. The doctor said your body is still weak and needs proper nourishment. He then eagerly served Lily a large piece of meat. A servant hesitantly spoke up, young masters, Miss Rachel hasn't made a sound in the cellar for 3 days now. James snorted and cut her off. Today is a happy day minus Lily's coming home from the hospital. Why bring up that troublemaker? The servant tried to continue, but William and Henry's cold glares silenced her. That wretched girl must have known about the seafood allergy and deliberately made an entire seafood dinner. William fumed. And here I thought she was finally starting to accept Lily. Turns out it was all premeditated. Henry added angrily. Lily put on a frightened expression and timidly said, Big sister is being punished because of me. She's been alone in that cellar for so many days. What if she's angry when she comes out? James' expression hardened. Don't worry, Lily. We've been too lenient with her before. She's never faced real consequences. After this lesson, she won't dare bully you again. As he spoke, he instinctively pulled out his phone and refreshed our chat history. But our last messages were still from 3 days ago. In those 3 days, I hadn't sent a single message or made a single call. James' eyes flashed with anger. That ungrateful brat. It's been days and she hasn't even sent one message asking how Lily is doing. At that moment, Lily deliberately grasped James' hand and said in a tearful voice, I just wanted Big Sister to spend time with me. I never meant to steal anything from her. James quickly set down his phone and stroked Lily's head affectionately. Lily, you're so kind. Not like Hermione, she's nothing but an ungrateful wretch. William's eyes filled with cold disdain as he thought of me. That's right. She dares to harm family just to get attention. She's truly despicable. Henry nodded in vehement agreement and sneered. Unless she's learned her lesson, it is willing to kneel and apologize to Lily. I'll throw her out of this house myself. I stood nearby, listening to my brother's words, and could only laugh bitterly at the absurdity. But my spirit's actions went completely unnoticed by the living. Ever since our parents died when I was young, my three brothers had devoted all their attention to me. One day I said I wanted a playmate my own age, so my brothers went to an orphanage and adopted Lily as my stepsister. I opened my heart to Lily's arrival, but in front of my brothers she repeatedly framed me, causing them to grow more and more distant from me with each passing day. Including this time minus my three brothers locked me in that tiny cellar without a second thought. I struggled desperately, but could only feel the air in the cramped cellar growing thinner and thinner.